Okay. Suppy versus Stade. You guys didn't actually miss anything. Except for a lot of ranting. So Steven decided to mute the mic again. Because I asked him a question. He said, are we muted? Let's just mute it. I said, okay, just don't forget to unmute it. So he manually muted the mic even though Rob assured us multiple times that the mic was already muted. He then forgot to unmute it.
The problem is that I keep hearing these very famous StarCraft 2 personalities are dying in car accidents, and I don't know if it's true or not, so I have to keep checking. And if it is true, I don't want that kind of news to be broken outside of the sanctity of this Twitch chat, which is where all of the important news is broken.
Right. So
I'm kind of wondering how our mic can be left muted for that long, though, and not hear a single thing. Isn't there like a bar or something that goes up and down on knobs when we talk? Is it like the thing, the microphone? Kind of makes you wonder sometimes, right? Kind of makes you wonder.
Are you trying to ping this on Rob?
Kind of makes you wonder why I'm the one wearing glasses here, when someone else is clearly having. What were the jokes we made? Now we got to recall them and make them again. Some of them were funny.
Yeah,
I think.
that was tough.
We had the earpiece.
It was a lot of but
when we were doing this, we were pretending that we were getting messages.
Well, you just messed up the joke for later.
Well, yeah, but I just said because it's too late to go back and make it again. Because I'm not gonna laugh at it this time.
Sure, but we could have made it tomorrow. I mean, like we could still have pretended that we have an earpiece.
Maybe. What other jokes were there? We were emailing Rob a lot.
There was quite a few. We were, and then we mentioned all the nice things he actually does.
Yeah, that's true too.
Which are plenty.
Yeah.
By the way. But Stade, going for our Nexus first here.
This is a good matchup, isn't it? MLG GameOn Invitational. This is Group B, winner's match. The third best of 3 out of 5 for the day.
Yep. Stade versus Suppy, two of the absolute best players in North America, without a doubt.
Really? A lot of the things we say are pretty sarcastic, but Stade and Suppy are two really good North American players. So this series should actually be pretty good. Not to say that any of the other series haven't been good, but these series will be better, some of the best that NA can provide.
Yeah, you could say that.
Given the right casters in this scenario that aren't us, you would probably think you're watching Koreans.
It's possible.
Given the right level of hype.
Would you like to switch up the names?
To test if people...
To test if people that are perhaps...
We're actually casting...
Sulky
versus...
Deer.
Wow.
Damn.
Let's see the level of play that we would expect from Deer or Sulky.
All right.
And let's see if these players can match our expectations. All right. How about that?
So let's
go ahead and talk about every little amazing thing.
Yeah.
So I like that Deer leaves his probe here so that he's ready to throw down pylons instantly in case some links stream in. Really small details like that are what set these professional grade Protosses apart from the other nubs around the world. You know.
Yeah. Actually, really important thing that Deer did here. At the very start of the game, he actually didn't scout with the first probe. He actually has his build figured out to a T.
Much so that if he sent that probe out, it would put him far behind from what he's used to being. That's how much he has
in terms of timing. That's what he needs. He needs the extra probe there to mine those extra 15, 20, 30 minerals. And just now scouting, he actually scouts the right position first. He's gonna run away. That probe is gonna fall down. It needs you need usually 2 links on a probe to put it down, unless the probe is weak enough that one hit will kill it, as it was the case here.
Exactly.
And that is because the shields will regenerate otherwise fast enough that one link won't kill it. So if the link catches up, is what I'm going to. If the link catches up, scratches the probe, and it doesn't kill it, it will never kill it.
I agree.
Unless there's 2 links.
I agree.
There's nothing to agree 100%. It's just a fact.
Exactly.
So...
perfect Overlord scouts from...
Sulky here.
From the guy.
Sulky.
Yeah.
So he's going to take a pretty fast third. This is pretty standard. It's the metagame in Korea right now. And we have Deer actually just pushing that link back. But Sulky, poking in, sees the wall, sees all the information that he needs to have, sees a sentry, and from now, Sulky can make the deduction, okay, this is probably not going to be Dark Templars. Because when you go Dark Templars, you usually see a Stalker first.
Exactly.
So he is still scouting with the Overlord, poking in.
2
this
sentries.
Overlord might fall down to 2 sentries, and this is a great reaction by Deer, not to pull just 1 sentry, but 2, because 1 would not make it so that the Overlord would fall before scouting the entire main. And Deer does not want to reveal this gateways. This is 3 gateways going down in addition to whatever he has on his wall, which I believe is 2. Can we see the wall?
Oh, there's the wall. Only one gate right there.
But an extra... and
Robo facility going down.
So we might see Deer here.
Oh, and another.
No, that's a forge.
Forge
so
going
this is
down.
actually more of an indicator of a third.
Definitely.
It's
I
a
agree.
it's a pretty safe third. But we might see Deer try to apply some pressure. He might as well. Does he have a mothership core out?
Of course he does.
Yep, there it is. But not enough energy for recall just yet.
Not yet, but if he makes his journey across the map, he might have enough by the time he reaches
Again, and
enemy
this is
base.
something really cool to note as well is the time where when he made that mothership core. He didn't make it far in advance when he didn't need it. The mothership core might seem extremely cheap, but it's not. It might have allowed him to make that couple extra probes that really make the difference. That extra sentry, perhaps a little bit earlier to get the energy. Perhaps he thinks, okay, you know what? I would prefer to have more energy on a sentry than I would on the mothership core. I need the mothership core at this particular timing that I'm pushing out, and I need it to have recall by this timing and not before that. So I would rather have the extra force field instead. And this is how extremely prepared these players are.
Great scouting by Sulky.
Yep.
To constantly throw those lings out
Yeah,
there.
Sulky's actually ready for this.
Keeping tabs on the mothership core.
His game sense is just fantastic. Right
Taking
now,
out the rocks here so that he doesn't have to worry about force fields choking him in up into his natural. Hallucinated Phoenix coming down from Deer.
Yeah, very good scouting indeed.
Another link goes just to keep tabs on the army. Make sure there's not a whole bunch of extra stuff being warped in there. Good. Warp Prism coming out soon from
Let's check the APM because this two players, Sulky and Deer, wow,
370. Just killing
in
rocks.
the current APM. 370 APM for Sulky.
Just killing rocks.
Deer with
Amazing.
an average of 220, being
Which,
a Protoss.
being a Protoss, is pretty impressive.
I mean,
Anytime I see a Protoss above 120, I'm pretty impressed.
yeah.
To be at 210 this early, I wouldn't expect anything less
Amazing.
from
And
a
look at
professional
this.
Korean.
This is fantastic. Deer scouted with the hallucinated Phoenix, then backs up, doesn't even try to go in. And look at how many units Sulky was forced to make just by the presence of that army that he, being the great player he is, he scouted. So he saw the army and he was forced into his units. But now Deer has the Immortals on the Warp Prism.
Uh-oh. Indicative of
he
a
hasn't shown.
third? I don't think so.
Nope.
I don't think so. Looks
Nope.
like we've actually got a very strong two-base
Adding
all in
gateways
here.
as well and Blink.
And Blink. More Stalkers coming in. Is Deer, Sulky, going to be able to hold off?
Well, important to note is the position that Deer has been taking this entire game. He's been going through chokes. Has he ever been out on the open? Not really. And he's going into another choke again. This is probably the most open he's been in the entire game.
Two spines going down.
That's why he's hesitant to move away from that first, or from that smaller choke and into the slightly more open path. This is going to be really tough for Sulky to deal with, especially with only roaches. So he's going for the counterattack. So smart!
Going
This is
for
brilliant.
the counterattack, but
Oh
he
my
does have
God.
Blink, so he's not going to be able to run away. Maybe he blinked a little bit too far there. Expect to see some force fields go down.
Fantastic
Good
force fields.
fields.
Look at that.
Cutting off the roaches completely. Two
Wow,
time warps
two times
go down.
Wow, this is
Half
just
the
brilliant
roaches just
control.
completely
Look at-
unable to attack. More
completely
force
amazing.
fields going down.
Sulky with the perfect surround, but even more perfect force
And
fields
the
by Deer. The
aggressive
aggressive
blink
blink,
to
the
clean up the
confident blink.
roaches.
Now this is going to be tough, and Sulky has no. That was brilliant. I mean, he.
What else would you expect from Deer? World-class Protoss player. Now this is where we
Now
reveal.
this is where it gets
This is
tricky.
where we reveal.
It wasn't actually Deer and Sulky.
Deer or Sulky.
That was State and Suppy.
Those were two North American born and bred players, never stepped a foot inside Korea in their entire lives.
They actually have helped it to Korea.
Can you believe that?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. World-class execution.
Damn.
I can't even believe it, actually. Are we on? Rob, we're still on an A, right?
Are we on an A right now, or
We're
is
still on an A, right?
Because right now I feel like I'm being tricked.
Production confirms.
Yeah.
Look at that APM.
Impressive. So State is actually going to take game one of the series against Suppy.
Up 1-0.
Yep, really cool.
Pretty strong two-base LN. Pretty
Yeah.
big two-base LN.
And
I
just
mean,
just
two
everything
Immortals
that we were
in a
actually
Warp
talking
Prism.
about, that was really cool. The position, he was
Yeah.
never
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah,
danger of
moving up
getting
through the-
surrounded. Yeah, he was
Yep.
always moving through the chokes.
But I just mean like that all in had so much from two bases to have two Immortals in a Warp Prism with +1 and Blink and that many sentries and all those Stalkers. I don't think there was a single. Did he make any Zealots that game?
No, and that build was actually just so efficient.
Yeah.
Like everything that we pointed out. The mothership core was actually delayed on purpose.
Yep,
Everything
so that he
was-
could get enough probes to get all those gases out in time.
Sentries.
Super tech heavy.
Yeah,
Two
very,
base
very,
solo.
very
Really nice.
Even the scout being late. And then, Suppy perhaps overreacting a little bit to the first
Maybe a little
first
bit,
poke.
but it's really hard as a
But at
Zerg
the same
player,
time, yeah.
because you don't know if he's about to morph in like 6 stalkers.
And State didn't even try to go in.
Yeah.
He didn't even waste that recall energy. That's why he had 2 time warps at the end.
Mm-hmm.
He scouted with the hallucinated phoenix, saw the roaches, said, okay, that's actually enough to push me back. I'll just back. I already did my damage without moving in.
Sure.
So, great play by both players, really. Really nice round at the end by Suppy, just wasn't quite enough.
Sure. Now we move on to Habitation Station. Unfortunately, I feel like this map favors unconventional play a bit. And I don't think that... And I love him, but I don't think Suppy has it.
Yeah.
I think we've seen Suppy play a pretty straight-up game.
Almost every time.
I think every single game has been pretty straight-up. Pretty standard